Hello, and welcome to the Vongiano Predicament. My name is Steve Vongiano, and I'm a moderate centrist, bit of a milquetoast fence-sitter journalist. And you'll notice I didn't do air quotes around journalists because I actually am one. I'm always out there jumping into the field. The movie Civil War was about me, but instead of, wearing a flak jacket and taking photos, I am instead reading news stories and occasionally calling Nancy Pelosi gay. Today's top story is, of course, Nancy Pelosi being gay. But in addition to that, we have a series of news reports from very reputable sources, all of them wearing white lab coats and staring intensely at beakers. And they have concluded that Gen Z, the generation as old as 39 and as young as Democrats still want to abort them, are turning hardcore MAGA. They support Donald Trump, and also they brought back nu metal for some reason. I don't get it, but whenever they eventually kill me and eat my body, I will respect that decision. Speaking of Donald Trump and also decisions, he's in court right now. Due to being so good at sex, he had to pay a porn star to stop telling everyone. The judge has ruled that he cannot attend his son Barron's graduation, the most offensive thing ever done to a president since John F. Kennedy also couldn't attend his son's graduation for reasons I'm currently forgetting. Maybe I'll remember and tell you, but don't count on it because the show starts right presto. Hello and welcome to the Vongiano Predicament. I hope you'll find that this show is your one respite, or is it respite? Whatever, it's a great word, you're welcome, from the constant lies being squirted all over your face and bed by corporate media outlets such as MSNBC or, the Home Shopping Network. None of those earrings are real diamonds, and if they are, they're not bloody enough. Now, let me start this show by offering a wholehearted apology to everyone who attended my stand-up comedy show this past Saturday at the local VFW, which we've renamed the V open 3 parentheses J close 3 parentheses W for reasons I won't be getting into here. It was supposed to be a fundraiser, this show, for the local chapter of the Ohio Republican Party, and specifically for my favored Columbuston, Ohio state representative candidate. He is, of course, a feral dog who successfully murdered his closest rival, who was a feral skunk that was often mistaken for a feral dog. I like his tax policy, which is, of course, a flat 15% on everyone, unless you make under $20K a year and over $500K a year, in which case you will be taxed bark, bark, snarl, bite. I was the middle act, going on right after a Dokken tribute band and right before another Dokken tribute band. I started with my normal set about how women need be washing their ass and men need be violently opposing the use of hormone blockers on children under the age of 18. Standard club stuff. After that chunk, 45 minutes into my 90-minute set, it suddenly occurred to me that I unfortunately had forgotten to ever write any additional stand-up up to that point in my life. Never did any of it. So I just retreated into an old classic, which was, of course, just the entirety of Margaret Cho's old Comedy Central Presents. Are you the gay? And, so on and so forth, but somehow even more racist. I, of course, got a standing ovation and was carried out of the venue on the shoulders of the local elated townspeople. The candidate I was raising money for did drop out shortly after due to being shot while trying to eat a farmer's child's head. But I still think it was a great stand-up comedy set. However, according to a memo sent out by the local Republican chapter who write all of their memos in blood on tree bark, my comedy stylings left a lot to be desired. They said, and I quote, Mr. Vongiano was upsetting and vulgar, and I desperately wanted to gouge out his, what word is this? Larynx? Just use normal words, mainstream media. Just say you wanted to poop in my throat. Anyway, that person later went on to say it was disrespectful to the Chinese and to women, and she didn't say any of that specifically. She just said it's offensive to all humans who have ever lived anywhere ever. So that obviously includes Chinese women who are also disabled. And if you don't think those are people, well, who's the real racist? Yeah, buddy?
Owned by facts and logic.
Now, the question remains, how much of this scathing review was due to the reviewer being, of course, producer Nancy Mom, who said I shouldn't do a concert due to, quote, the only good comedian ever is Red Fox and Dennis Miller, but only the later years. But listen, I say to producer Nancy Mom, I tell her all the time. Okay, she's passed out. I tell her, you have to shake free of the woke mind virus and stand up for free speech in all forms. But most importantly, we need to legally mandate exclusively good reviews of all comedians ever. Speaking of legally mandating things, former president and current Yale rugby champion Donald Jebediah Trump has been legally mandated to not attend his extremely tall son Barron's high school graduation. That's right. Donald Trump sired a child as recently as 18 years ago. I'm impressed, and you should be too. It's today's top story.
Top story. Top story. Top.
Donald Trump, you know him, you love him. According to polling, 100% of you watching this are currently grasping a body pillow of him, is on trial in the formerly great and currently covered in homeless feces state of New York City. This trial isn't the one about the election interference or the one about sexually assaulting that lady or the one about defaming the sexually assaulted lady. I think her name was like J.M. Barry or something. I don't know. I think he has a few other trials as well, but thankfully he owns an assortment of great suits, so it's gonna go fine, you know? But no, this trial is about using campaign funds to pay, quote unquote, a hush money to one Stormy Daniels, a pornographic actress with a very confusing name. Who the hell gets aroused at the concept of a storm? The answer is, of course, anyone who's ever seen Helen Hunt in that white tank top and twister. You're welcome. The judge in Donald Trump's trial, whose name is Juan Merchan, so maybe factor that in when you determine how angry you should be at him, declared that Donald Trump needed to be in court every single day of this trial, which is disgusting double standard, because absolutely no judge has ever demanded that any Democrat be in court every day for porn-related charges. Well, maybe Anthony Weiner. And Elliot Spitzer. But that's only two. Meanwhile, Trump counts as 5 men easily, so it's wildly unfair. Game over. Donald Trump is a busy man. He has all sorts of other things to do. Important meetings, campaign stops, other trials. He can't show up to court every single day, especially because it's a sham trial designed to get Joe Biden elected and also boost the failing ratings for the trial network, which has really been going downhill ever since OJ. Rest in peace. See you at the crossroads. He was innocent. I won't be getting into it. Worst of all, this judge, Juan Rodriguez Gonzalez, I think his name was, I don't know. He declared that Mr. Dr. Reverend Trump, I'm not a supporter, can't even attend his son Barron's graduation from the Wharton College Preparatory Academy for extremely tall young men who will someday seek vengeance. Oh. This was going to be the social event of the year, and Trump had personally volunteered to bring a hot dish for the potluck and DJ the whole event free of charge. But the judge, again named Juan, has declared that instead of making it the most special day in Barron's life, Donald Trump has to instead show up in court for this sham, which means that for the first time in his life, Barron will not feel his father's love directly in the room with him. But Trump keeps going along with it. By showing up to court, by going along with this whole sham trial, some are calling it a sham wow trial even, Donald Trump is indicating to all of his followers, to the whole country, to the whole world, probably to aliens if they exist, and if they do, they've already accepted that they're his followers. They love him, they're full MAGA, so you've been mentioned twice. You're welcome, aliens. Trump is legitimizing this defilement of the American justice system. And that's saying a lot, because the American justice system's mascot is already a blind bitch with her tits out. I believe that Donald Trump has a moral obligation to not recognize these fabricated claims as actual law and to instead refuse to show up to court anymore. And I also think the exact same thing should be done by all of my viewers currently in divorce court. You refuse to go in there. You do not give that judge the time of day. If they come to your house to arrest you, you let them know that you are a sovereign citizen and you absolutely do not accept any custody of any time. You know, just none at all. You're in a brutal custody battle and you want zero custody. That's what you're going for. The kids are not your problem. You wanted to wear a condom, but you got too drunk and forgot what a condom was. And that's her fault because she could have stopped you from buying the beer. Your Honor, I rest my case.
I said I rest my case.
And that is Stephen E. Vongino Esquire's Law Corner. What's the E for? Esquire. It's in there twice. Here's the thing. I am authorized to practice law in the city of Columbuston due to watching a Law and Order marathon one afternoon, and I officially declare that the entire legal system is gay and also that Sam Waterston is daddy. Next story.
Second story. Second story. This is the second.
Holy moly, wild enchilada. We got a hot one here. As you guys know, this show isn't just about politics and the news and sometimes just playing the entirety of the Phantom Menace and offering race science-based commentary, so technically it's legal. No, we also talk culture here, such as how all movies are woke now, and The Little Mermaid is black, and they didn't cast Ed Sheeran for the Bob Marley biopic. Disgusting. And as you know, all politics is downstream from culture. And culture is, of course, downstream from middle school boys who, according to a new report from the watchdog group Monitoring the Future, which I thought was a Terminator fan site, are identifying as conservative at almost twice the rate as before. That's right. Young men are identifying as conservative at 22%, where previously it was charted as, why are you guys asking me these questions? Are you gay? I farted in your mom's butt, LOL. Meanwhile, young girls are trending more and more liberal. And why wouldn't they, when everything's been handed to them? Meanwhile, men have to work for everything they got. Let's say you're one of the boys and you just got off another long shift of coal mining or used car selling or possibly yelling on YouTube. Point is, you provide for your family. Maybe you work at a McDonald's and consequently make $600,000 a year. Who could say? But wouldn't this experience of working your little, quite frankly, tuchus off make you want to keep more of your hard-earned money and also detain immigrants in camps? And if you're a woman, maybe you spend all day watching The Real Housewives of Who Could Possibly Give a Shit and then showing one of your nipples on OnlyFans briefly. Wouldn't you think that life is easy? And therefore we should give every single migrant a free cell phone and a lifelong supply of halal guys? I rest my case. This is the divide we have in America right now. And it's not just between men and women, although they do be shopping differently. No, it's between those who believe in truth, which is, of course, all of you. It's you guys. You're the cool ones. And on the other side is the radical left, who want to destroy everything. They think that boys can be girls, that letting criminals go free will disincentivize crime, that in fact you shouldn't be allowed to pee in the line at a water park when in fact it's all water anyway, so I'll just kind of wash away, you know? It only makes sense. They believe so many objectively untrue things. They think there was racism involved in the founding of America and that maybe we should raise taxes. Just absolute nonsense. And at some point, we will have to, quite frankly, arbitrage with these people, which is a word that either means find common ground or possibly challenge to a gun duel. Either way, those of us that just want to be left alone and live our lives have to eventually deal with all of these authoritarian communists, or else they'll, do a bunch of gay shit. And that's why young boys are becoming increasingly right-wing. Another potential reason, this bikini photo of the schizophrenic woman who went viral for screaming on a plane. She's famous now and has decided to use that fame to push all of the moderate centrist policies that I also advocate for and additionally have never advocated for. You can't catch me. Point is, our side that I'm not a part of, is really outpacing the radical left in terms of stuff you can jack off to. Right. That being said, AOC did do that dancing music video in college. Shit. Well, we got a couple minutes left. Can we just play that?
You know where to find me, honey. Hiding under your bed.
You know, I've long said that the trick to changing the culture is to give teenage boys a boner and then tell them they need to read the entirety of the Federalist Papers before they can jack off.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We're having fun here at the Von Jono Predicament. We're cranking it out. This comes out on Friday. I'm going live tomorrow, Saturday, April 20th. It's a 420. I legalize it. I don't criticize it. Do you know that song had another lyric? One time I was making fun of a stoner, and I said that, and he sang the second lyric, and I was like, oh, that you've actually listened to that song. Well. Anyway, weed is for morons, and if you've ever smoked it, you're going to hell. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe and watch the live stream. I forgot to finish the thought. Tomorrow, 420, live stream, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We don't have time zones here in Columbuston. We've declared them to be Jewish, so I just use the closest one to me, which is Central Standard Time. Like and subscribe. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I'm actually not on Twitter because it's not a website, never has been. I'm on x.com, which has always been called that. I don't know where the word Twitter came from. I was thinking of a bird I one time hit with my car and just drove away. Most importantly, I'm on Patreon, and for $5 a month, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, I forget the next number. For that little amount of money, you get exclusive bonus episode every single week. You get access to the raw feed. You get to vote on what song I open up my live streams with. And most importantly, you get an executive producer credit. You created the show. You're an executive producer now, which means you can do anything. If you're an executive producer, you walk in the room, they love it. They love it. Whatever you want to do, man. Just go right up to them. Go, hey, can I touch your boob? Legally, they have to do it, no matter who it is. Wild industry. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I got another video coming out right soon. And until next time, what kind of fucking nerd middle school boy actually has a political opinion of any kind?
Shut up and sit down.